always I've always had Vermont, and it doesn't disrupt the class or anything. We're gonna have to relocate everyone because 10 classrooms and the library and the B105 lab, all of it. So I'm just like, how's that?
Good evening, everyone. Go ahead and reconvene the Sherman Independent School District Board of Trustees. Let the record reflect we have proper quorum and properly posted for this meeting. You'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Do we have any presentations from the public this evening? None, we'll move on with our agenda. I would let the public know that and warn the board that we now are streaming our meetings live on the YouTube channel and on the SISD website. So this is your final warning. The camera's looking right at us, folks. Good luck. Up first is consider approval of the annual financial audit report. Mr. Reed, please.
Yes, each year we're required to have an annual financial audit. Tonight, our audit was conducted by Dominic Lindsay. Tonight we have with us Mr. Jim Lindsay, Brian Gresham, and Jessica Little from Dominic Lindsay. I'll let them come and give some discussion about the audit. There we go.
Good evening. We've audited the financial statements for the Sherman Independent School District for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2015. The annual financial report that you have in front of you, those financial statements have been prepared by the administration, and they have the responsibility for the accuracy and completeness of those statements. By issuing an annual financial report, the district is able to show accountability to the public, its debt holders, and grantors. In particular, the financial report provides information about the district's financial condition, results of operations, and also that shows that the resources were used in accordance with legal and contractual requirements. The auditor's responsibility in the financial reporting process is to conduct the audit in accordance with our standards and to issue opinions and reports based on the results of our audit work and testing. The results of our audit are expressed in 3 independent auditors' reports. First of these reports is on the financial statements. This is an unmodified or clean opinion, meaning that the financial statements do represent the district's financial position and results of operations. One of the most significant factors affecting the financial statements this year was the adoption of some new accounting standards related to the financial reporting for pension plans. In the district's circumstance, that is the Teachers' Retirement System of Texas. These new standards require that governments contributing to a pension plan must recognize their proportionate share of the net pension liability of the plan. Implementation of these standards require that the district record a liability at the beginning of the year and restate its beginning of year equity and net position. That restatement resulted in a decrease of $9 million in what was previously reported at June 30, 2014 of the district's financial statements. As of the end of the fiscal year, June 30, 2015, the district has recognized a pension liability of $7.8 million. And this includes not only people who have retired and are currently drawing benefits, but it also includes the accruing benefits for people who are currently working and working towards meeting the service requirements and other requirements for the pension plan. Despite getting this $8 billion liability put on their financial books, the district remains in sound financial condition. At the end of the fiscal year, the district had equity or net position of roughly $22.5 million. That's an increase of about $6 million after you take out the effect of the restatement. Most of that increase was a result of the district being able to pay down on its bonds payable. The district's general fund has a fund balance or equity of $14.7 million. This represents about 4 months of expenditures that the district holds in reserves in the general fund. Our second auditor's report is a report on internal control and compliance required by government auditing standards. These standards require that we review and test the internal controls over the financial reporting processes and also test compliance with general areas. We typically look at the controls related to purchasing and disbursements, payroll, and the reporting of financial transactions, and also look at compliance with investment policy and banking relationships. There were no items involving the internal controls of these compliance areas that were required to be reported, so there were no findings or any weaknesses in the internal controls that we saw. The third report is also a report on internal control and compliance. This was required by the Federal Single Audit Act. Again, we're looking at the internal controls and compliance, but as it relates to the district's major federal programs. And we're looking at the compliance requirements that, if there was an instance of non-compliance, could have a direct or material effect on those programs. We typically look at areas such as allowable activities, eligibility, cash management and disbursement, and the reporting of expenditures to the grantors. Again, we have no items to report in this area. To summarize, the district is in good financial condition. There were no internal control or compliance matters reported. The financial records were maintained in good order, and all the district personnel we dealt with during the course of our audit were helpful in answering all of our questions and getting the information we needed.
Thank you. Any questions? Anything for the subcommittee members?
Well, I would just like to say thank you to Jessica, you, Brian, and Jim for your hard work and your professionalism and your expertise. We really do appreciate it. It's good to know that every month we're brought the budget. It always looks good. Mr. Reed does an excellent job. We're going to miss him. It's nice to know that it's all confirmed and good, and stay tuned.
I'll second on top of that, so having a local firm that has a knowledge on with the retirement system and how that impacted our budget, that was a very educational piece for me as a board member as well to hear, and I love hearing it from the local firm.
Thank you. Anything else? Thanks. Thank you very much.
I will tell you that the audit committee did meet and go over this. Mrs. Whitfield, Mr. Morgan, Mrs. Osterman. They did have a little more depth review of the audit at that time. But it's the administrative recommendation to accept the 2014-15 audit report as presented by Adami, Lindsay and Company.
A motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you, Mr. Reed.
We'll provide our Employee of the Month program winners that we have here, and we've been doing, wow, this seems very loud. Sorry about that, I'll back up.
Don't worry, we can hear you.
All right, good, I won't scream at you. So this is our second month where we've been doing things a little bit differently. We have a lot of positive feedback on providing our recognition in video form that allows not only the folks here in the past, only the folks here were seeing those individuals getting recognized. Now that we have this, we're pulling videos together. We keep them in 5 minutes or around 5 minutes. And we also are able to not only provide you with the debut of the video here at the board meeting, but also we post it to where everyone can see it after the board meeting, and we can recognize those individuals through video form on our website and Facebook and other venues as well. So we're very happy to do that, and we've also had a great amount of feedback, positive feedback. We want to thank our partners, First Texoma National Bank, Nat McClure State Farm, Texas Roadhouse, also McAllister's for giving us the goodies that we can pass along to our monthly award winners. We have a great list of winners this month who are here that we'd like to recognize. Our elementary teacher of the month, Erin Thorpe, is our fourth grade teacher from Crutchfield, and she is here as well with a lot of supporters I can see from Crutchfield and her family. Our secondary teacher of the month, Taryn Natek, SPED autism teacher at Sherman High School, sitting there in the back there. We're very appreciative of her being here as well. Our employee of the month, Nicole Garrison, nurse at Sherman High School, is sitting right here, and very appreciative for her as well. And our team of the month comes from Sherman High School English 2 team, Robin Fox, who was a previous awardee last month, and also the rest of our team, so well deserved. So we'll go ahead and Sergio or Adam, if you'll move on to the video. Where's your class? Is this your class? All right, excellent. Now, I don't want to throw you in the way with anything, news I'm about to tell you, but I have some exciting news. Are y'all ready? Yes. Your teacher, Mrs. Thorpe, has been selected as the October Elementary Teacher of the Month for the entire Sherman ISD. Wow, you guys have an awesome teacher, and congratulations, yeah. Way to go.
Our teacher's a great teacher because she's always nice to us and she helps us with stuff we don't know. Mary Thorpe's a great teacher because she's an excellent mathematician. And I think Miss Thorpe is a great teacher because she pushes us to the limits to try our best. And I think Mrs. Thorpe is a good teacher because she always makes sure we're on task.
Miss Thorpe is one of the runners on our campus. She keeps kids motivated. She's always looking for new and innovative ideas and strategies to help her kids be successful and interested in school. She loves the kids and they love her.
JK, can I have a second? You have been selected as the October Secondary Teacher of the Month.
Oh, gosh.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Way to go.
Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, I'm so undeserving. Oh, thank you.
Mrs. Natek has such a big heart and does everything for the kids. Any decision she makes, it is always about the kids, 150%. And these kids in this class are so blessed to have her, and Sherman High School is very blessed to have her also.
Sherman High is very blessed to have her because she does just a wonderful job. I mean, she puts in more time than she needs to. She stays late.
Miss Natek is the best. She's in here before anybody else is here. She comes in early, she leaves super late, and she's always just looking out for the kids and their best interest. And she's been, she's taught me and Mr. Wilson a lot this year, so we're very blessed to have her.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm here to tell you that you have been selected as Employee of the Month for Sherman ISD.
Shut up!
Yes, well, congratulations.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't know you could say shut up.
So,
Years and juggler. She gets 70 to 90 kids in here every day. She has a lot of diabetics. She handles it all with grace. The kids always feel comfortable coming in here, and they understand that they're going to hear a kind and caring voice when they come in. And she just does it all with such grace. I'm amazed every day.
You walk in here, you gotta take a number, because it's happening, it's rolling. But she's always got a very optimistic personality, and we have kids who want to come see her that are not sick, because they want to come be around her, and she's joy. She is. So, yay!
Not only did we have a former secretary teacher month from last month, now the team, the English 2 team, is winning. We got the team of the month for the Sherman ISD.
Because y'all been on the team.
I saw that. They have risen to every occasion that I've provided to them. They are absolutely a can-do attitude, and they take care of business and get it done. They do a great job.
We talk about everything that's expected from a team standpoint, like from an academic standpoint, and no matter what is brought to the table, no matter what, there are ways put in motion right then to handle it, to make it happen, to implement it, and if something doesn't work, they also come back and go, okay, so this is not working, so what are we going to do? So they're just cohesive.
They have risen to the challenge of what is 10th grade English, and that's one of those really hard exit level EOC courses, and so just appreciate the hard work and the dedication to really getting those kids over that final
All right, that's great fun to do, and you just never know what you're going to encounter, and the great personalities, and I'm just very appreciative of all of them, and we don't get offended very easily when we're told to shut up. Like the movie Frozen, we love warm hugs, and so it's just a great time. So thank you to, if everybody would stand up who is on the award-winning team, and also the award winners, so thank you. And those who are here to support them as well, we appreciate other staff and family who are here. We appreciate you coming out. And so at the conclusion, if you would go outside and take photos with April. And thank you to April as well for pulling all the videos together, and Julie Mitchell for Director of Spartan Education. So thank you so much.
Will those videos be online for people to see?
Yes, they will be online, posted, and so look for them. They already are posted, so good to go. All right, thank you.
Our academic report gifted and talented tonight by our curriculum directors, Amy Porter and Lori Seeley. Amy, is that the mic?
Good evening. We are here, we tag team a lot of our special programs because we work, I'm with the elementary and she's secondary, and as you know, we serve K through 12 for our GT program, so we want to tag team it and share about it together. But before we start, we want to introduce our GT teachers. I know we have all of our elementary: Cindy Petre, Lori Bloomer, Andrea Wiggins, Jennifer Parker. Do we have any of the secondary? It's snuck in. Okay. So we want to say thank you to you guys first. Okay. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the program. Just some general things that our program serves. The purpose is to look for those students that it's kind of an enrichment education program, but we're looking for students that are identified that kind of go above and beyond and exceed in their skills and y'all got me all nervous. I don't know why. And content, so they go above grade level, and we really try to differentiate for them in their special projects. We do serve K-12, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And this is kind of what TEA, or the Texas Education Code, defines for our GT services, and that's what we do for Sherman. And then this is kind of just in general how to summarize how we identify. We maintain a screening process, and we are looking at those things currently. We have a lot of criteria that we look at, ability, abstract thinking, and I've listed all of those things there. We look at the data. We also do a mass screening at second grade in that test. We also have a wide referral process that we go through. And then at the final selection, we have at least 3 GT trained teachers that do the final selection as well. And then we follow the provisions for furlough assessments, and it's all listed in our handbook. At the end of the slideshow, you'll see a link to that. And we're currently looking at all of those things as well. This looks really small, but I wanted to show you this. We showed you this last year, so you see the comparison between 2014, 2015. And when you see star reading, that's third all the way up to end of course. So I just lumped them all into one and look at the GT. So in 2014, you see we had 99.3%. We bumped up a little bit for this year. And look at our commended, or advanced, they call it now, advanced rate for 2015 is up to 69% for our GT students. And then math, we have 98.8% from 2014. We bumped that up a little bit as well. And then our commended or advanced rate is also there. For science, last year we had 100%. And for science, that's only tested in 5th, 8th, and 9th grade. And so, you know, it's tougher to make the numbers. We have 98.6% for this year, and there's our advanced level. And then for writing, that's our 4th, 7th, 9th, and 10th grade. Those are all lumped together. We bumped that up as well, which was a tough test across the board. And if you look at any of the state data, the writing is a really tough one. But look at our advanced level for this year. I think we've really figured some things out. And we can thank our GT teachers do a lot of integration with the writing and pull that in as well, so we thank them for that. And then for social studies, which is just our 8th grade and 11th graders, that's all lumped together. We had 100% that met this year, or this past year, and we bumped our advanced rate up. So I was thinking the numbers were looking pretty good, moving up. Tagging her in. One of the things that we wanted to bring to you guys this year was a little bit of a breakdown on just exactly who are our GT kids and where they are by grade level. So we just decided to go ahead and give you this graphic so you can kind of see percentage-wise by grade level where our GT kids lie. Have a little bit of a swell there at the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade level, little dip as they get on into middle school and the high school years. One of the things that we do is we do follow a timeline and just kind of make you aware of what the general timeline looks like. In August, if you've got a kid that is new to the district, maybe they're transferring in from the outside or from a private school, there is the availability for them to do some testing then. And we're always very grateful for those, those people that are willing to come up in the summer and take care of that. Cindy is always so good to make herself available in the summer so that she can test those kids that might come in during that August window. In the fall, our GT teachers right now are very actively working with the kindergarten students because kindergarten students by law have to be identified and served this year. So we have to be looking at them right now in the fall semester and kind of trying to figure out who might have some really, really high potential there. And so they are looking for those high potential candidates so that they can identify them in December and be servicing them by March. And then in the spring, the wide screening that Amy was referring to, we screen all of our second grade students with a blind screener, the Naglieri nonverbal screener. We also have a reassessment window that happens during that time, and that's our open referral, our wide open referral window. So right now, we are undergoing a program review, and that program review is part of our policy as part of EHBB local. And it says that we will review the program every single year. And so as we look at the program, we've really identified what might be some of the challenges that we want to just really examine our practices and examine what we're doing so that we can make some thoughtful decisions. And so one of the things that we're looking at is equitable identification of genders, races, ethnic backgrounds. We're looking at our reassessment policy to see if that was really suiting the needs of our kids. And we're looking at that idea of continued eligibility through either the furlough and the exit provisions that are provided for us, and how we could best use those to really benefit students and benefit teachers. And then we're also talking about program alignment. In other words, does the program in the elementary build itself up to be something that sends kids prepared for a program in the 5th and 6th grade, that sends kids up to a program in the 7th and 8th grade, that then tops up our advanced academics at the high school? So is our program alignment there so that the program has some internal consistency? We do have a link for the Gifted and Talented Handbook that is online. One of the things in our program review is we're trying to go digital possibly next year with that, so that it's not so much of a paper handbook, more of a brochure and website design. We think as we did a lot of our reviews, everybody has gone digital, and we did not find any print handbooks online, so we're going to try to kind of move towards that. And there's also the link for the Elementary Challenge website, so that you can see some of the wonderful things that they do. Do you guys have any questions for us?
Questions?
I have one. On your chart where it gave the percentage of GT students by grade level, do you have a feel or an explanation of why it dips from looks like 7th grade and then picks back up to 11th? Is that just kids going through changes?
It's all percentages, so that doesn't reflect exact numbers. One of the reasons why sometimes it will rise back up at the 11th and 12th grade level is not so much because there are more GT kids, but because the population of that cohort of kids is less. So you're looking at 500 to 600 kids in most grade levels, but you get to 11th and 12th grade, and we've backed off to the 400s, and even I think it was 375 possibly even for the high school level, for the 12th grade level. And so we lose some of those kids along the way, but we usually don't lose our GT kids, and so they stay with us. So that's one of the reasons why we get the rebound there. The reason why we get the dip in that 8th and 9th grade is because many times it is not cool to be GT when you hit that adolescent span there, and they'll go underground on you. They'll deny services. They'll decide they want to furlough. They'll decide they want to exit.
Okay, thank you.
My question is sort of along the same line. I'm sort of concerned why we drop from 16% down to 12%. So in the 9th and 10th, is it because our counselors not pushing towards GT? Are they more into pre-AP and those programs? How many certified GT teachers do we have at the high school?
At the high school level, I'm not positive on that. I know
I know
that
we had a lot retire, so are we sending them off for this for training?
We do, as we get some people, and we have one that is retiring off of our English 2 team this time, and the lady that will be replacing her long-term sub for the rest of the year is already in her 30-hour training right now. Has been in contact with us and is not only getting her 30 hours so that she will be lockstep and ready to go whenever she picks up the class in the spring semester. She's also talked about getting the AP certification as well. So when you get to high school, a lot of times it is advanced academics, and the state of Texas recognizes AP training as 18 of the 30 hours as part of that prerequisite. And so then they just have to have nature and needs, they have to have the law, and they have to have social emotional responsibilities towards gifted kids. And so that's the additional 12 hours. Of course, we know that 30 hours is just really the tip of the iceberg. You really just have to keep working the program and nurturing the program. When you get to high school, though, it is very much advanced academics. I've been with gifted programs many places. It's very hard to run a traditional, what you would imagine in elementary as a gifted program in high school, because they have to give up a credit for that, and credits are time. So instead, we have a very robust AP program that suits our kids very well. And the thing that you have to really funnel in there with that is that social emotional piece to help support them.
But we are receiving money from the state from GT. So
We do.
We have to have a program.
We do. And advanced academics at the high school is acceptable as a program, because it becomes more almost like a college slate where you choose your areas of passion. So where we look at right now with 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th, and we kind of do aptitude inventories, if you will, on them and say, well, they'd be best served over here, they'd be best served over there. When you get to the high school, if you want to hop up there and take AP physics, there is not a barrier to jumping up there and taking AP physics. It's allowing kids to explore those areas of passion, of those areas that intellectually stimulate them. And if AP English doesn't, and AP Physics does, and that doesn't affect your GT status.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Is this chart just, I'm sorry if you already said this, is this last year, or is this a number of years, or what's this snapshot?
This is current.
So would that, does that look roughly similar over the last few years or so, or are there any changes?
We didn't do a
We
historical.
didn't quantify it like this last year, but we thought, ooh, when we were coming up with it, we thought this would be good to look at. So we'll do it next year so that we can watch that.
Yeah, this is our benchmark year, and then going forward, we will watch those.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
We have one more thing to show you.
Oh, good.
Our Cindy Petrie put this together and spent countless hours on it, so we sure want to show.
You better show it to us.
We better show it.
We're going to show it.
And we made sure this
I'm
year
not
that
kidding. She's
secondary is
been a long time.
represented too.
Our next academic reports this evening be on the special education report that you normally get every November. We asked Ms. Kay Allen to bring that report to the board.
Good evening. I'm thrilled to get to be here and let you know some of the exciting things that are happening in our department.
Oh, I clicked this, okay, sorry. My first time. Got it. Start out with a little bit about our population and our numbers. Students with learning disabilities, speech impairment, and other health impairment continue to make up about 70% of our students with disabilities for the district. Our fastest area of growth as far as disabilities would be that of our students with autism. Our autism evaluation team conducted 41 evaluations for autism last year. This year, we have already completed 12. We've added 2 new classrooms. Across the state, our numbers for students with autism are high. No accounting for the reason, but we do have an excellent program here. And Taryn is gone, but we have a great program across the board for our students with autism. We have continued, most of our students with auditory impairment attend the Regional Day School for the Deaf. Our Regional Day School program is another area that I'm very proud of. Annalyn Serrano is here. She is our deaf ed teacher at Crutchfield. And just in our Crutchfield classroom alone, Annalyn is doing an after-school sign language club on her own time, as well as she meets with one of our students' grandfather every week and is teaching him sign language. And that's just a wonderful thing. One of her students. I can't say enough good. We have a student in her classroom that dressed up, did his speech, campaigned, and was elected to the student council at Crutchfield. And so we have a lot of good things going on with our students with hearing impairments. In addition to these 17 students within our district, we serve an additional 30 in Denison and Grayson County Co-op through itinerant services. We also serve babies from birth through age 3. As soon as a student with a visual impairment or a hearing impairment is diagnosed, we're right there working with the parent, and so we do a lot in that area. At this time, 835 students in Sherman ISD are identified as having a disability, which is 11.9% of our student body. That's held fairly consistent. Our numbers are up a little bit this year. But in addition to these students, we also serve 12 students aged 3 to 5 for speech. They are not enrolled, they do not attend on a campus, but parents bring them just for therapy. Private school services, you may not be aware, but we are required by law to set aside a percentage of our funds in our proportionate share agreement to serve students on private school campuses. At this time, we're serving students for speech services. I believe we have 14 altogether. 10 of those receive speech therapy. And then we have 4 students with hearing loss that we serve with through assistive technology. FM, we provide FM systems. And so we're very busy. And again, I say we serve our birth to 3-year-olds. And we're so fortunate to be able to see our children with hearing impairment and visual impairments. Just from birth on, most students are identified at about 6 months of age. And so we're right there on the scene with them. So we have a lot of things going on. Our department, we have a large group of people. As you're aware, we have, I don't want to say the numbers, I believe we have 10 diagnosticians. We have a great group there. We have 10 speech therapists and assistants. We have teachers of the deaf and interpreters. We have school psychologists. We have a special ed counselor, and then we have support staff. We have teams. We have our functional academic teams. We have our that would be our teachers and assistants that work with students with our severe cognitive impairment, our life skills classes. We have structured learning teams. These are our autism classrooms. We have very exciting things going on in our autism classrooms. We have our behavior skills classrooms, and we have a wonderfully trained staff that works with our
children with behavioral challenges. We have resource teachers, teachers that work, they pull students out to provide resource services for reading and math and writing. We have inclusion teachers. We have a tremendous number of teams that go into the classroom to work with teachers and their core academics. And then our transition program is really wonderful. This is I believe our third year of serving our students that are 18 to 22. And we have these students go on to the Austin College campus, and they are receiving on-the-job training. They have employment opportunities. I believe last year we had 6 students in this program, and 3 of them did obtain employment by the end of the year. We have an additional 6 this year, and I believe at this time we have 2 that are working, and so that's a great program. We have had some successes. I know that our STAR scores, we have been, our students with disabilities, we have 3 options available to us with regard to state assessment. Last year we took the STAR score, the STAR assessment. We have a number of students that took the regular STAR assessment with traditional accommodations as we have in the past. And of these, our STAR scores were above the state average. Our 3rd through 8th grade reading, our 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 7th grade math scores, our 8th grade social studies, and 8th grade science. Students with disabilities taking the regular STAR test, we were above the state average. High school, for STAR and STAR A in all subjects and all grade levels were above the state average for students with disabilities. STAR accommodated scores, the accommodated test, it was for all practical purposes the same test as the STAR test. The students who took the accommodated version could take an online test, and it had built-in accommodations, it had built-in supports. A large number of our population took the STAR accommodated, and that meant that they not only had to be able to access the content, but they had to know how to access the built-in support. And our students did quite well with the STAR accommodated. They were above state average in 7th and 8th grade reading, 3rd, 5th, and 7th math, 7th grade writing, 5th, 8th grade science, and 8th grade social studies. Again, the high school above the state average for STAR A in all subjects. So, does that mean that we don't have challenges before us? The truth is, the state average in all areas was below the passing standard. And so we have challenges. And we started our year looking at our academic challenges and what are we going to do? How are we going to get our students with disabilities to pass the regular STAR test as is the expectation? And so we looked at that. We had staff development at the beginning of the year, and we looked at this. We had over 150 special ed staff members attend the beginning of the year training. One of our challenges, yes, for sure, is academic. We want our students to meet grade level TEKS. We want them to be successful on the STAR and the STAR accommodated, as well as the STAR Alt 2, which is for our students with the most significant disabilities. We want them to meet their IEP goals, to master their goals and objectives. We want them to be provided with differentiated instruction, to bring that grade level learning to a level that they can grasp and that they can get it. We do want to improve our scores for reading, math, science, and social studies. But we also have other challenges for our students with disabilities. We have students that have functional challenges, daily living skills, employability, and independent living. We have students with social challenges. They need to learn to get along, how to communicate, how to relate to each other. Significant behavior skills that they need to learn. So it's another area of challenge. So our goal for every student that graduates from Sherman ISD, any student with a disability, number one, we want them to graduate either with employment or with where they are either full-time employed or ready to go to work after graduation, or enrolled in a post-secondary program of some type, either a certificate program, a 4-year degree program, but in either employed or in an educational setting. We also want every student that graduates from Sherman ISD to have the independent living skills that they need. And to do this, we met at the start of the year, over 150 teachers, assistants, everyone in our department. We came together. And our goal is to improve student achievement, not just academic achievement, but achievement in every area. And they met. They broke up into groups across grade levels and across instructional settings. Our questions that we looked at: what are our challenges? What can we control? And what can we do? And so we broke up and we brainstormed those ideas. We met campus to campus. We looked at each campus met together as a group to see how they could meet their special challenges. And then every instructional setting, team, teachers, assistants, diagnosticians, school psychologists, they met. My autism team came together. They said it's the first time they were able to come together as a group. And they looked at the needs from our early childhood children through our transition program. And they looked at their obstacles, they looked at their needs, they looked at what we can control, and they developed a plan. Autism, life skills, resource, inclusion. It was a wonderful day that we spent, and they came up with a great plan. And you may have seen some of you saw in the paper, the article about our ART shirts. This is our theme for the year for special education. I took this idea from my son's high school football coach. But the shirts say ART because people ask them all the time. I think Sherman some people may think we just have a really, really large art department. But when they're asked, do you teach art? They say, no, we're a relentless team. One of our speakers this year said, it's easy to be motivated and ready to go to work in August, but what do you do in November? And so that was our theme. Where will we be in December, and what are we going to do? And this is our theme. We are a relentless team. Steady, persistent, constant, and continual. A few weeks ago, I made the statement, I never really want to hear that word relentless again. But I'm so proud of the way that all of our teachers and our staff have picked this theme up. I have asked for help again and again, and I can't tell you how many times the response I get is, of course I can do that. We're a relentless team. So, we are a team. We're a large team. We're one team made up of many teams. And so the one common thing that came out of our training was we want to know. We want to know about our students. We want to know how they learn. We want to improve. And so we came up with a list of trainings. And how are we doing in November? I asked LaVonda Brown, is one of our diagnosticians. She's been a tremendous help to me this year. Sent out an email to the teachers. What staff development have you attended, and how have you applied that? The response was so positive that when you go to our Sherman ISD Special Ed website, we've added a tab that says Special Edition. And we have posted some of the comments that the teachers said. We're so excited. We've never had this many teachers team up with their general ed counterparts and go to co-teaching training. They're going to inclusion training. We had some great face-to-face opportunities here. And we're going to keep that up to date and maybe add some pictures. I wish I had a video. But we just have a great, and the way that they're implementing things and being relentless in November, I'm so excited. So these are just a few of the things that we have going. Our online courses We did a special ed 101 e-courses. We have all these things, and I counted. We've had over 100 participants so far through November. Over 100 teachers have enrolled and taken and completed the online courses. So I know I'm leaving something out. One online course, I only have 5 minutes.
You just do whatever you want to do. It's going to be fine.
Thank you. We have added this course. LaVonda developed this. We have the best evaluation reports of anything we ever get from another district. But how do we get that information into the hands of the general ed teacher? And so we did an e-course on understanding the general abilities, and it just a long story short, when we tested, I'm over my pay grade here, but when we test a student, we look at, there are 7 G's that we look at. Now, I'm not going to tell you what they all are. You can sign up and take the course, but one thing we do look at, comprehension and knowledge. We look at long-term memory. We look at short-term memory. We look at my diagnosticians, but different areas of strengths and weaknesses. And so what we have done, this is just gives our teachers. We've had almost 40 teachers sign up to take this, general ed teachers as well as special ed teachers, to understand those general abilities and what is in the assessment report. So what we did with that is to get that in the hands of the teachers. We started with 3rd grade, and we're adding an evaluation summary to Eduphoria where every teacher can pull that up and know what that student's areas, G's, what their general abilities are, their strengths and their weaknesses. They have that information, and then a great list of strategies that they can use. And our goal by the end of the year is to get that in place for all our students. I think we've worked up to 7th and 8th grade at this time. And that was a huge undertaking. There have been a lot of hours put into this, and I think it's really going to pay off in the long term. Our website, this is nothing new, but we continue to update this with the links where we want our teachers to be able to go to our special ed website. You push a button and it will take you to the website that's represented there. And so when you're teaching, it's what you can get to in a short amount of time. So we're continuing to update our website. Special edition, go there and look at it. And then we also have links for parents. We have links for our teachers where they have resources. So, I'm done, just about. We're relentlessly celebrating. We are, they're doing joint staff development. Like I said, we have more teams involved in that than we ever have. We're looking at continuity across grade levels. When our teams met, they were able to talk about how they assess their children and to plan for students that go as they go from grade level to grade level and campus to campus. So we are a relentless team, and a relentless team can accomplish anything. Questions or comments?
Well, I'll tell you, I was at Story, and I've seen several pictures of the kids. That is just a phenomenal job. You see these kids, and I wish my kids who are at Fairview could experience what y'all do with these other kids to realize what you've got in life. Y'all do a fantastic job, and just what I saw at Story, it was unbelievable. I've seen Dawson in here, and then the little boy who's not there bowling. I can't remember his name.
He's precious.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Every team in our department, I can't tell you, if you could visit some of our behavior classrooms, our autism classrooms, what they do at Story is amazing.
It's amazing. It really is. Those kids, it's unbelievable.
So we have some good people. Anything else?
Anybody else?
I just want to say, if your whole department has as much energy and enthusiasm as you do, you're going to have a great year. We've always had a wonderful special ed program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good job. Thank you, Karen.
In honor of your relentless enthusiasm, the chair is going to ask to extend the consent agenda from the 7 group of minutes you have in front of you to include under action item section C, 1 and 2, which is the finance department approval of gifts, and financial reports at this time of the year. I'm not sure there's any aberrations we need to go through or do. So if that's the rule of the group, do we have a motion to pass the consent agenda? First of all, is there any change to the minutes that we have for the special call meetings?
We had two minor corrections, Mr. President, and on November 4th, we had shown a board member absent that was there, and on the 7th, we switched that, we showed one there that was absent, so we have corrected those. That's the only corrections we have found. If you have found none, we recommend they be approved.
Okay, we have the minutes and Finance Department, 2 reports as presented. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any other comments, questions, needs for information? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you, it passed. And just by record, public record, we thank First United Methodist, American Bank, Fairview PTA, Bob Jarvis, Luke Motley, and United Way for their gifts and acknowledge them here in public. Next, Mr. Superintendent, is the Genesis Partnership.
Mr. President, members of the board, we are recommending that you allow us to proceed with a facility study. This, we believe, will be a tremendous foundation block for the development of your facilities needs plan in order to go forward with a bond proposal to build new buildings, repair, replace, add on, whatever is needed. This report will be very thorough for your district use and for your bond committee use, and it addresses things you just don't even believe would be addressed. For example, the parking lots. Do we have adequate parking at each campus? Do we have traffic flow? How does the traffic flow affect our entrances and exits at our facilities? It is a very comprehensive report, and it gives you an assessment from the basis of your instructional program. All principals will be contacted, asked for their input on instructional needs and etc. And I think you will find this will be a tremendous asset to the district moving forward when you begin to develop your bond proposals. We would recommend it be approved.
Other questions?
Would this also be a report that the architects?
The architect would definitely use this report. It's much more extensive than what I've seen most architects do, because I haven't seen architects out studying your traffic patterns, for example. I haven't seen architects determining that you have 7 additions to 2 of these buildings, and that impacts things. So this is much more thorough than what I have normally seen from an architect assessment.
Okay.
We do have one architect, they call it a capacity study, but all they did was take your floor plans, measure your square feet, and divided it by the number of feet required by TEA per child.
Okay.
And so that, to me, is an inventory and not an assessment. But in my experience, this assessment will serve you much better than a simple architectural assessment.
So we can use this in lieu of what the architect.
Absolutely, the architect will build off of this.
Okay.
Well, just to be clear, this will be more comprehensive, but an architect will eventually build their own.
Absolutely.
And this will get into building usage and building options, I know we discussed that.
Yes, it will. And it will also set out a list of recommendations for you.
Okay.
Like, this facility would best be used in this capacity as an instructional facility.
Okay. Given the mixed timeliness of our buildings and all that we've learned in the last few weeks, looks like something this comprehensive could be helpful. But we have a recommendation from the staff. We have a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further questions, Mr. Treadwell? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you, Mr. Treadwell. We'll engage those services. We'll start tomorrow and finish Friday. Next up is the candidates for Grayson Central Appraisal District.
Yes, sir. This is the election for members of your appraisal review board. We would recommend that you allocate a minimum of 835 points to Mr. Lynn Mitchison, and the remainder of your points to a candidate of your choice. It's the pleasure of the board, but
We want to take the first recommendation as motion and talk about the second one.
I'll make the motion.
So we move to get
$835.
835 to Mr. Mitchison for his fine service to date. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, nay? All right. You're back at work for us, Mr. Mitchison. Thank you so much. Now, who else do we wish to take up? What's the rules of the board for?
Well, we were just gonna read recommendations.
You have a resolution that we would recommend you adopt that resolution. You have 272 votes remaining. We had suggested Al Zoria, but it's not required. It's the board's pleasure. And so should you choose to make a motion to adopt that resolution, you can amend it to put those 272 votes on one of the other candidates. Board choice.
Board have a choice from the other options?
With Mr. Mitchison serving as our board representative, I think we should turn it to him.
I'd like to cast those 272 votes to Ryan Johnson. The candidate that's currently on there had some attendance issues last year, and so therefore I'd like to see our votes go to Mr. Johnson.
Others have any questions? Need more information? We'll take that in the form of a motion, Mr. Mitchell. So we have a motion to cast a 272.
Motion to cast 272 votes to Ryan Johnson.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Questions, concerns? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? So cast.
May I ask for to adopt this resolution as amended, if that would be appropriate? I think that way it would answer all the questions. The resolution is the two-page resolution that you have, and we are amending that, so I would recommend you adopt the resolution as amended.
We went off script and we made the superintendent nervous. So there's a script in front of you, and instead of the name that's there, we'll adopt it as presented with Ryan Johnson names inserted. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Questions, concerns? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? There you go, Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you very much.
We're back on
Appreciate
script,
it.
all right.
Got that resolution approved as amended.
If you dare come up here, Mr. Reed, I think you're gonna be next. The tax roll levy, I believe.
Yes, we did receive our tax roll values. They were delayed a little bit because of the election. We had the additional homestead exemption. But you can see our 2015 taxable values have increased $157,147,317 compared to last year. Our tax levy has also increased $2,297,337. It's the administrative recommendation to accept the 2015 tax roll and levy.
Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Questions, concerns? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you, Mr. Reed. Got any bonds?
Yes, sir. Mr. Reed will introduce our folks that are going to talk to you about that, and then hopefully they'll even throw in a little TRS, I'll get that straight, information for you.
Okay.
TRE.
There's no charge for tonight's TRE information.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, currently, Mr. Josh McLaughlin, who is our financial advisor from BOSC, is going to come up tonight and talk to us a little bit about a refunding program. I think that's coming up first, and then I'll turn that over to Josh.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to see you again. The fact I'm here means you can save money. So I will make this relatively brief and not stand too close because I could hear myself. Once again, the district has an opportunity to refund a portion of its existing bonds that are outstanding at a higher interest rate. You could refund them at a lower interest rate. What we would do is do this on a bank qualified basis. This is something the district has done before. Once again, just a little refresher on bank qualified. If you issue less than $10 million in a given calendar year, you can designate those bonds as bank qualified. And the financial institution that buys those bonds actually gets to write off 80% of the interest expense. And because of that, we actually give you a little bit lower rate than traditional tax exempt bonds and improve savings to the district. In the last 3 years, the district has completed 3 different refunding programs, refinancing over $67 million of its existing bonds, and saved taxpayers to date a little more than $16.2 million. I'll say that again. Last 3 years, you've saved taxpayers $16.2 million. By refunding a portion of your 2006 A bonds and 2007 bonds, they're outstanding at an interest rate of 4.89%. Based upon current market rates, you can achieve an interest rate of roughly 3.16% and save taxpayers a little bit more than another $1.4 million. Hopefully you have a copy of this memo in your board packet. If you flip to page 3, I do want to spend a little bit of time on this. If you focus on column E, if you look at the debt service payment for 2015-2016, it's roughly $11.1 million. Thereafter, you see your debt service payment goes down to roughly $7.7 million. Doing quick math, based upon your current value, each penny generates about $260,000, meaning you roughly have 12.5 to almost 13 cents of cushion that the district has used to repay bonds on an annualized basis. What that means to the district is when you go out and do a bond program, you have 13 cents of really cushion that you can implement a bond program for limited tax rate increase, or alternatively, go out and do a TRE. Increase your M&O tax rate by 13 cents to $1.17, reduce your INS tax rate by 13 cents, and generate more money for maintenance and operations purposes without increasing the tax rate to Sherman ISD taxpayers. What that would generate is roughly about $1.1 million of extra state funding. What normally happens when you do a tax swap is you're moving that maintenance and operation dollars right back over to pay your debt service. You don't have that problem because you have that cushion going. So just an idea, if you were entertaining a TRE, that next year would be a good time to do that. Likewise, if you don't want to do the TRE and you want a bond program, you have that capacity there as well. Getting back to the refunding bond program for a second, what we're here tonight is to ask the board to adopt a parameters order, like we've done with the prior bond refundings. We ask you to approve an order to let us move forward with the refunding, subject to administration approval, as long as certain parameters can be met. Those parameters are, the district must save at least $1 million net of any contribution. The maximum amount of bonds that we can issue is $10 million, once again, to keep it under that bank qualified limit. The maximum interest rate on the collective bonds is 3.5%. The final maturity may not exceed February 15th of 2031, which is the same final maturity of your existing bonds. We're not refinancing over a longer period, same amortization. And we must get this done before May 14th, 2016. However, in reality, we're trying to get this done before January 1st of this year. So we're on a pretty aggressive timetable. But with that said, as your financial advisor, we would recommend moving forward with adopting the parameters order tonight. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
This is item 4 on the agenda.
Is there any advantage of using that cushion towards a TRE, if we're speaking hypothetically towards a TRE or a bond? Is there an advantage to using it one or the other?
Typically, school districts will use it towards a TRE. And the reason is a TRE is much tougher to educate the voting populace about. Bond programs, there's always something tangible. You could go to a school and say, well, that needs repair, that looks old. There's something tangible you could show voters. TRE is much more abstract. It is something that is tougher the education process. And because you can do this essentially with no tax rate increase, typically most school districts will do this with a TRE.
Thank you.
Does that still require an election, though?
Yes, sir, it does.
So I just didn't realize you take the 13 cents from the bond money and move it to the TRE, since bond is facilities and TRE is
Yeah, essentially you can't move the money over. What you're doing here is because the district has decided to maintain a tax rate of 40 cents on your debt service side, it's actually generating more money than you need to service your existing bond payments. So in reality, we've been repaying bonds every year to keep, not build a fund balance, but to repay bonds, and you save the interest cost. And that's actually the next agenda item as well. You'll have that opportunity again this year. But essentially that's happened is you've repaid enough bonds and we've done enough refunding programs that you actually can service your existing bonds from a tax rate of roughly between 27 and 28 cents. So you have that built-in advantage of being able to lower your INS tax rate if you so choose, have a TRE to increase your M&O tax rate by the same amount, and do it for no tax rate impact to Sherman ISD citizens.
That's the TRA will bring us the state funds as well.
Based upon our numbers, it would be an additional 1.1 million over and above what you currently receive in the state.
So good to have you here tonight. We have a recommendation from the administration on this to pass item 4.
Certainly, I'm sure we do. Mr. Reed, you want to pass it? I recommend it. I'm going to let Mr. Reed do it.
I do too.
Stick to the script, Mr. Reed.
The administrative recommendation is to approve the adoption of an order calling a portion of the district's variable rate and limited tax school building bonds, Series 2006A, for refunding and enacting other provisions related to that subject.
Motion?
Motion.
Second? Any further questions on this particular item? Yes, sir.
One question. Is there a time frame that we have to transfer that money? Could we decide to do it at any point in the year? Does that have to do during the budget or when you set your rate? How does that work?
For the refunding?
No, to transfer the money from
The TRE.
the TRE.
When you do the TRE election, it changes your tax rate.
So it's when you
So
have
it's
the
when
election,
you-
whatever time that is.
Right, and so it would go into effect for the coming year.
Okay.
Anything else?
Is there also the refunding program time, you want to move that to January instead of May, or is that?
That's just their timeline that they would like to do it in December, but they say that you have that range. That you have that range to do that. The TRE would be probably, you have to have it later. So we're kind of combining two different things really. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you, we've saved some money.
Can you come back next month?
Well, he's not finished.
He's not finished.
He's not finished. We have, as Josh talked about a little bit ago, we do have an opportunity to pay some additional on our bonds, and I'll let Josh kind of talk about that also.
Based upon your current values, as we talked about a little bit earlier, your tax rate of 40 cents on your debt service side actually generates more revenue than is needed to pay the existing bonds, to the tune of about $1.54 million this year. So, what you can do is take a portion of your existing 2006A bonds, and we did this first before we looked at the refunding. We took the longest bonds that actually mature out in 2033, starting to, and they're outstanding, I believe, at a 5% interest rate, and said, how many bonds can we redeem and stay within your budget that you currently generate at 40 cents? And that was 1.54 million. By redeeming these bonds, you're not paying extra costs, you're not paying financial advisor, you're not paying bond counsel, it's simply paying a call fee to the paying agent of $300. So it's good bang for your buck. But essentially, you get to save the interest cost And the interest cost on these bonds over the next 20 years is $1.2 million. So by moving forward and adopting this resolution, you would redeem these bonds on February 15, 2016, and that would save the district and its taxpayers an additional $1.2 million in future interest costs. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
That's the recommendation of the, it is. We have a motion.
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second that.
Second, any further questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Passes, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. McLaughlin, I would just report to you here in public forum that I had the opportunity last week to run into some folks in the business that you do, and they spoke quite highly of you, your service, and how well you've been working with Sherman Independent School District before they knew who I was. So thank you very much, and I appreciate your work.
My pleasure.
Are we ready?
Mr. President, members of the board, we would recommend that you acknowledge the superintendent's acceptance of the resignation of Janine Marillo.
The recommendation, we have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Second. Questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Passes.
We would recommend to the board that you accept the superintendent's acceptance of a teacher's retirement at the effective December 18th. Cheryl Winnett from Dillingham Intermediate School would like to retire midterm.
We have a recommendation, we have a motion? Motion. Second?
Second.
Questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Passes.
We also recommend at this time that you offer a 10-month probationary contract for the 2015-16 school year for Charlotte Williams to be assigned Jefferson Elementary as kindergarten.
We have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Passes, thank you. We received various information and data reports from the staff. Is there any questions on those things that we get regularly? Very good. Hearing no questions, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Anybody want to stay longer? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you very much. We're adjourned.
Not much. Congratulations. Thank you.
Good job on that. Thanks.